Greetings. I am Braggy and I am a Viking storyteller, and we are the channel Northworthy Sagas and Stories. So hello, welcome to the channel, and today's video, so please don't go, is a story and a folk tale, but something slightly different than what I normally do, so stay tuned and keep watching. Today's story is a classic one which I have told before, and it comes from, well, a place some far away. Some say it's Ukrainian and some people say it's actually a Russian folk tale, but I think on that we can debate it as I hold my say-axe out. So today's story is called The Turnips, but I'm going to tell this story from the point of view from the turnips, because I was reading the comments in the old comment section and they suggested that would be quite interesting, and they are basically saying that in this story the turnips are worse off and there's a lot of bias towards turnips, because the commenter was saying turnips have feelings. So yes, and it's just by chance the other day I was out past my bit of land here in some fields where I planted some turnips some time ago, and I was having a look to see whether they was ready for pulling out, and they are not yet. And I love a bit of turnip soup or a bit of turnip stew with a bit of bread and cheese. Oh yes, and if you're lucky you may have a bit of rabbit or beef or lamb in there as well. Good for your belly. And I do love a good story. And so a long time ago, 1,000 years or more, there was a field. And this field has been ploughed for generation after generation. And normally they let the fields grow with grass and give them some time off before they plough, and they don't plough them every year. It'll be on a cycle, like every 3 years or every 5 years. Sometimes the cycles can be as great as every 7 or 9 years. I'm sure you agree that's a long cycle to go and mow a meadow. To mow a meadow you can. That sounds like a song. And so we have this meadow, and for many years it has grown turnips. Nothing but turnips. But there's one part of this meadow, a corner, which is a slightly mythical, for it used to be a barrow. And you may be asking, well, what is a barrow? Do you mean a wooden thing with a wheel you put your dirt in and your soil? No, I don't mean a wheelbarrow. I mean a barrow, as in a ring-ditched enclosure, where in the old days, the days of our ancestors, they buried our kin and the folk gone before us. And over time, these barrows get ploughed away. But this barrow, you can still slightly see it in the ground, for the wheat did not and the turnips did not in previous times grow so good. But in the middle, the turnips grew really, really big. But somehow every year the farmer missed it, because it was magical and the place would not be seen by the farmer. And so in the middle of this old barrow there was a family of turnips. And they've been there for generations of these turnips. There was a daddy turnip, oh yes, and he had a big moustache and very proud and been sitting and living in the soil for years. And there was a mummy turnip, and she was very pretty for a turnip-ess, and they was both very happy, and they had a number of turnip children. Oh yes, you know, carried on the line of turnips from one generation to another. And so, you know, this carried on for many, many a year. But one year something strange happened, for the farmer decided to remove the old ditch and fill it in. And he had a load of old stone and stuff to get rid of. He thought, oh, I'll plant that, that'll be alright, I can grow some more turnips. And see, this is what he did. He got his wheelbarrow, and gradually over days and months and a season he filled in the old ring of the barrow. And when he had finally finished it at the end of autumn, it must have been September to us, something very strange happened, for the magic protecting this family of turnips disappeared, and the old farmer with a big white beard and a bald head saw the turnips for the first time. In fact, he was so taken aback he fell over in shock to see the size of these turnips, for they were indeed the biggest turnips he had ever seen in his life. And all his life, for many a year, some say he was nearly 50, he had seen nothing but turnips. Imagine 50 years of having turnip for breakfast, turnip for lunch and turnip for tea. Hey up, Dad, what's for supper? Turnip, lad. And you'll be happy. It's like these old Hovis adverts of old, but for turnips. And so, you know, he was in shock and delight, and the first thing he tried to do was pull out this biggest turnip, which was the daddy turnip. But no matter how many times he tried to pull it out, it would not come out of the ground. For this old turnip was alive, and it had planted himself firmly in the ground with his feet and roots. And so the old man, the farmer, thought to himself, you know, as I put my sayax away, you know, oh, I could get some coin out of this. You know, imagine how much those turnips would be worth, because they were massive. They was bigger than me. He could just get his hand on it. That's what he could do. Just about, he could get his hand on it to pull it out, and he got a grip. And he tried again, and he fell over. This man was not stupid. He thought, I'm not going to stay here all afternoon trying to pull it out myself. I know what, I'm going to go and get my wife. She's big and strong, built like an elephant or a bear. We call her Olive. Olive? And so he went away and came back with his wife. And so the old farmer said to his wife, you must pull on me, and I'm going to pull on the old turnip and get this turnip out, and we can sell it and make a fortune. And so she agreed, you know. And so the old farmer, he put his two hands, and he put the axe away on the turnip, and his wife put her hands around the waist, and they both tried to pull. But no matter how many times they both tried, the turnip would not come out. And this turnip was there, what's going on here, said the turnip. Oh, leave me alone. And the turnip was making funny noises, but because the farmer did not hear these noises, he did not know, and all the other turnips were talking at the same time. What's going on, mother? I don't know, there's a strange man with a beard. I don't know what a beard is, but he's got a white thing on his face, and he's trying to pull me out. What does he want to have? Does he want me something? I don't know, you know. Perhaps he wants to take me to a new home, but I'm resisting. I like it here. And so these turnips were getting a bit afraid, and you know, and should we go and get some other turnips to help? But there weren't any around. These were the only magical turnips in the field. Chances of that. And so, you know, the old farmer and the wife continued pulling, and of course, being wise, he thought, I know what, it's not going to work. We must go off and go and get our daughter, or dossier in Anglo-Saxon, bit of education there for you. And so the farmer and the wife went away, and they came back with the daughter, sturdy lass. And the farmer, with the white beard, bald head, put his hands round the turnip, and his wife put his hands round the farmer, and his daughter put her hands round her mother. And all three of them pulled together. Come on, pull! Ooh, must pull this turnip out. And at the same time, the turnip's looking up. Oi, what are you doing? Get your hands off me! I'm happy here. I'm sunbathing. I'm going to do turnip sunbathe. I don't know. Put it in the folklore turnips. You never know. And so again, he thought, I've got a dog, said the old farmer. And he sent his daughter this time, but he couldn't be bothered to keep walking backwards and forwards. It's a blooming big field, man. And so, you know, he told his daughter to go and get the dog, and the dog came back with the daughter. And then all four of them, the farmer put his hand on the turnip, and his wife hands round the farmer's waist, and the daughter round the waist of his mother, and then the dog put his little two paws round the daughter. Not that he can get her hands around her, or else was that big, but he tried, he managed, and all four of them tried to pull this turnip out. It would not come out. And the turnip, you know, looking up again, oi, wait, what's going on here? Leave me alone. I'm happy here, you know, and telling his wife all about it. Have you seen this duck? Seen what they're trying to do to me? They're trying to pull me off. And so quickly they moved on, and the old farmer, clever man, he knew he had a cat called Dave, by chance, and so he said, right, daughter, go with the dog. I don't know why, but go with the dog, go and get the cat, because I don't think the cat will do anything about the dog, so that's probably why. And so all three of them came back, the cat with the dog, and the daughter of the farmer and the wife, and then all of them had a go. So first of all, you know, said, right, we've got to do this properly, rubbed his hands, as you always do when you try to pull something out, put his hands around the turnip, and then his wife put his hands around the waist of the farmer. Ooh, a matron. And then the daughter put her hands around her mother, and the dog put his paws on the big woman's bottom behind, and then the cat put his little paws around the dog, and they all tried to pull, all five of them. And of course, the turnip was going, leave me, get off, leave me alone, I'm happy, get off. You know, if he had arms, he would fight them, but he ain't got arms. We all know turnips don't have arms; they've just got legs, one of them. And so, even, you know, the farmer tried to pull out the turnip with his family, and it would not budge at all. It was solid. He stepped back for a minute and thought, "We've got to think about this." They went and, you know, thought, "Oh, I know what. There's a mouse in the house living, and we can go and get the mouse in the house." And so he sent the dog and the cat and his daughter to go and get the mouse in the house. And so they all came back, all four of them, the mouse, the cat, the dog. The cat was being well behaved at this point, but he wanted to eat the mouse for dinner. And then the daughter, and then they all gathered around the turnip. They had a little chat about it. What are we going to do? We'll do what we did before. We'll all pull at the same time, getting a big row overs. And so that's what they did. The old farmer rubbed his hands together and put his hands around the turnip, and the wife put his hands around her husband, and the daughter put her hands round her mother, and then the dog put her two paws round the daughter's big bottom behind, way, and try not to laugh. And then the cat put his two paws round the dog, and then the mouse put his little arms round the leg of the cat. And all of them, all six, tried to pull out this big giant turnip. Of course, it failed again, would not come out. And they all stood round, and, you know, the farmer had his, you know, he sat down like this with his hand on his leg and stroking his chin and thinking about it. What should we do? What should we do? He had a thinking pose. Thinking poses are very old and very important. And his wife said, "Oh, just do the same again. We'll do it." And that very moment, he looked down and he saw all these beetles, 9 of them, walking past in a big column. And he looked down at the beetles and said, "Hey, up, could you give us a hand?" And the beetles agreed. And so the farmer rubbed his hands, put his hands on the turnip, the big turnip, old daddy turnip, Papa turnip. You can call him what you want. What's his name? Let me know. And then the mother put her arms around the waist of the farmer, the bald head and the white, you know, beard. And then the daughter put her hands around the waist of her mother. And then, of course, the dog put hands around the waist of the daughter, and the cat did the same to the dog, and the mouse, and then the 9 beetles. And all of them tried to pull out a turnip. And no matter how many times they pulled this turnip, it would not come out. And so the farmer, in the end, he tried to give up. He said, "There's another field over there with turnips, we could have some of them instead." And these turnips are still there today, some people saying hundreds of years old, and some say could be the oldest turnips in the known world, Middle Earth. Oh yes. So I hope you've enjoyed this reverse story from the turnip's point of view, and I hope I've captured that for you. And if you do like this video, if you could do 2 things for this story and to help the channel grow, which is really important for any channel on YouTube, is to A, share the video by sharing it with your friends, your family, and your grandma and auntie, and all your mates down the pub. You know, you will help the channel grow. They can have a laugh. And if you could do the second thing, is to give it a like. Go and boop that like button, or give it a smash with a good old axe. There we go. No, hypothetical axe, of course. You know, I'm not responsible for you breaking your monitor or mobile if you do smash it with an axe, just to like the video. Goodbye for now, and we will see you in the next story in 2 days. Oh yes. Lovely story. Lovely.